Hey, welcome back everybody. You seen the video I shot earlier this week of introducing the 1050 quick fuel carburetor. Well, here it is sitting on the motor. I've already bolted it down. I should have done a little more shooting. I was busy working and not filming. Sorry about that. But as you can see, we've already got the old one off and the new one on. And we'll be changing out the lines, going back to number 10 supply, number 8 return. Get it all set up, get the regulator back on. I'll shoot a little bit of footage on that. And then we'll get it tuned up in the next week or so, and he'll be riding again. So here we are back over at the regulator. I'm over here, my friend's working on his bench, and just to keep fuel from dribbling, because we're reusing the regulator, I'm using the top of the quick fuel box as a would-be workbench. But I got to take this number 8 and make it the return, pull this number 10 out, make it the feed, and then swap out this number 6 gauge swivel for a number 8 gauge swivel, and take out the fuel injected spring that's on this regulator, replace the carbureted spring, and we'll be all ready to put the regulator back on the car. So I'm putting it back together now. Don't really have room to set the overhead shot up in here. I think I'm trying to catch the crud again. This has been a rough season so far. And the trick here is to get it tight but not too tight. And that's why I'm holding it with my thumb. When my thumb can't hold this wrench, then I'm about where that needs to be. And that's one of the things you'll learn with experience messing with these AN lines. And I'll do more stuff on the AN lines in future videos. But this is the return line. This is a number 10 feed with a number 8 return, and then number 8 going out to the carburetor, which I got to get a log for. And some people say don't use the Teflon tape. Some people say do use the Teflon tape. I use the Teflon tape. I've never had any problems with it. I don't use it on the lines at the fuel pump itself, but I do use it towards the front. And this is totally at the front of the car, so Teflon it is. And the same thing here. When my hand can't hold it turning, then I know that I've gone far enough. Now this regulator does have a set of pads on it so that you can grab it with a wrench, and I think the chrome on the wrench is throwing off the autofocus, but you can grab it right here with a 7/8 or a 15/16. I think it's 7/8. Yep, it's 7/8, and that'll let you give it one little good twist. There we go. And that's all ready now. I just got to take care of this side, and we're ready to put it back on the car. Okay, so we got to make one more. Always start this aluminum by hand. You can feel it if it's starting to cross straight. If it binds up at all, stop what you're doing. There we go. That one's tight. Now it's all ready to go back in the car, except I still got to change the spring out. So we'll go ahead and do that while we're here. So these aeromotive regulators are pretty cool. They come with two different springs. One for fuel injection applications and one for carbureted applications. And since we're going carbureted, we're going to swap the fuel injection spring out. So the thing here is to be careful with the diaphragm. If the regulator's been sitting for a long time, just go ahead and get a new diaphragm for it. There's nothing wrong with the regulator itself. It's just the soft parts. I try to put the screws back in the same hole because the threads are pulled to that screw. And as you can see, the spring is already cranking up on this one because it is a big old fuel injection spring. Here's the fuel injection spring. Here's the carbureted spring. I can squeeze this pretty easy. This one takes two hands to even move it. And as you can see, the diaphragm's trying to roll up. So I got to be careful when I put it back together. Ball goes inside like so. Spring on top. Go ahead and wind the adjuster nut out. Just makes it easier to put the housing together. And then this has a ball on it. And of course it turns over on me. There. And all you're doing is pushing the spring-loaded ball around on this hole down here. And this floats and the spring pushes down on it. And that's all there is to how one of these regulators work. Now, when you go back in, just like everything else made of aluminum or billet, whichever you want to call it, and I'm going to go ahead and take that out for right now. Keep them loose. Just get them started, just a thread or two. Just run them down till you feel it start to touch. And then jump over to another one. And then just work your way around the cap, crisscrossing. Just like you're tightening up a manifold or a valve cover or whatever, you know, don't just go back in line. Work your way back and forth around. And don't take a lot of torque, just get them good and snug. And then give it one last little twist. And then you should be good. Then you can put the adjuster nut back in the top. I'll do it this way so you can see it better. I'm actually screwing the spring down now. Put the washer on it. That keeps the nut from wearing through the top of the housing, because the housing is aluminum and it's soft. It's been my experience with these things over the years that, you know, about 3 threads down from the top here is about where you want it to be. And then just go ahead and run it down. Just stop there, because you're going to have to adjust it in the car anyway. When you first turn on the fuel pumps, it's good to have somebody there with you in case it shoots to 9 or 10 pounds or something, so you don't blow seals out of your needles. But there we go. The regulator's all put together and ready for its new work. And then what this does, this gives us a place to put the gauge and let us position it. Even though this is tight, lets us position the gauge so we can get it where it's readable and it's not touching anything. Alright, 2 9/16. Thank you. And there it is. Back on the car and ready to go.
So we ran out of parts, so I'm going to stop here for the day, and we'll hopefully finish this thing up in part 3 and get it tuned and get him back on the road. I got to get a fuel log, or make a number 8 line to go from the regulator to the fuel log, and then run a number 10 line from the regulator back to the fuel cell. And I'll show you how to put ends on an AN line for those that may not have done it before or could use a refresher. And we'll get this thing fired up and maybe shoot some video rolling down the road. So until next time, this is Fab Race Mod Repeat. Have a great day.